hello, I'm Jeff Hanley, social media coordinator, and with me is the much more powerful, handsome, and strong Jeff Olson. Anyways, welcome back to...
that was a lot.
Go on. This is your idea to have us swap seats just so we can make this gag.
Was it?
Listen, we have to do a lot to entertain ourselves. Anyways, welcome back to Lock and Load 2019 here at Bellevue, and we are doing some one Monsterpocalypse tournament. We are on to round 3, which is not a final round.
May or may not be the final round.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ooh.
There is a pair up and pair down matchup going on upstairs, and if the pair down loses, then this will be the final round.
Got it. All right, well, I'm actually not Jeff Hanley. I'm Jeff Olson, but
You could have fooled me.
We are very, very easily entertained, and we're like,
literally
what if we
twins.
switch seats?
Yeah.
It'll be a riot.
No one will know.
Quest? Right, Quest?
Right, Quest.
All right, well, we are going to go live here to our game. So we have a couple faces you've seen before. And they're going to give themselves a little handshakey shake. And we got Oz, who was our winner from last round, versus Mike Ireland, who you may have seen in round 1. So we have Harry's Mothership versus Hammer Clack with a K this time.
Got it right.
Yep.
Nailed it first try.
Yeah. This is little improvements, you know, little things happen. So we are back to the Isle of Annihilation. I'm about to do my Jeff cough real quick, excuse me. Pardon. And they are beginning to lay down their foundations. Now, one of the things we didn't mention to people who might not be super familiar with Monsterpocalypse is as they're putting down their buildings, there's actually an order to what spots you have to fill. And you can't see it super great on the stream, but there are basically green spaces and yellow spaces.
Yes.
And they are highlighted around the edge of the foundation spot. And you have to fill all the green spaces first. And those green spaces are typically in the center of the board. So that's why they're filling those center spaces first before they move to the outer spaces.
Yes. Now, something interesting that I've noticed already is that one of them has placed one of their faction buildings in the center. And that's going to make it harder for them to get...
Are you talking about the Shadow Sun building or a different one that
I'm talking about the one that's literally right... What is it, the Void Gate?
Yeah, that's the Shadow Sun one.
No, it's the Cthulhu one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I see it. We're talking about the green bad boy. I see what you're talking about now. I don't see the giant maw facing me.
Well, here, let me help you with that. If it goes like that.
What are you doing? Okay, I see it.
Like that.
Yeah, perfect. It's like I'm there.
Yeah. I don't know how to make it a more accurate representation.
Yeah. No, you did an excellent job. All right, anyways, continue your point, please.
So has he given up on claiming that building by putting it in the middle?
Unless he plans on playing super aggressively, like with his units.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about that building and what it does.
Well,
what does it offer to his team?
I don't know because I'm not that good at this game.
Okay.
And Cthulhu strike me as a very advanced faction. Cthulhu and Shadow Sun have a lot of movement tricks involved in what they can do. I believe it has a telekinesis ability on it.
Yeah, psychokinesis. So I'm just going to read straight from the card just so the audience at home kind of knows what the heck's going on. So first off, like all the faction buildings, it reduces the cost of that faction's... Sure. We have... it reduces the cost of some of your units. It also has 2 different actions, Empower and Psychokinesis. Psychokinesis reads, during your unit or monster activation, this model can spend 1 action die to perform a psychokinesis action. Choose 1 unit within 3 spaces of this model and move the chosen unit 1 space. So it's kind of like the telekinesis on Taskmaster.
Yes.
And then it also has action Empower, which is during your unit or monster activation, this model can spend 1 action die to perform an Empower action. Replace 1 allied grunt unit with an elite grunt. So, or I'm sorry, not grunt.
So you can upgrade.
Yeah, you can upgrade one of your dudes, your mans. So either he doesn't consider it a particularly vital choice for like this map and this matchup, or he has some other plan with it.
I also would like to point out that Mike has one of our amazing new Crush Hour buildings, the Donut Factory, right there.
You should ask him to turn it, Tony, so the rest of the audience can see it.
I think Tony's going to zoom in on it for us as soon as he is done running back and forth. Tony's losing a lot of weight this Lock and Load Game Fest 2019.
I should be doing that. Shedding them pounds.
Tony is all hustle.
So then we also have the Shadow Sun. The Sun Industries building is out there. There's 2 of them.
And that is a beautifully painted donut factory.
Oh my God! Look at all the sprinkles.
All of the sprinkles.
Yes.
That makes me so happy.
Excellent. I love it.
And the donut factory counts as an industrial complex?
Yeah, so if people didn't know, there's an organized play kit you can order from
called Crush Hour.
Called Crush Hour. And what you get are cool alternate sculpt buildings.
Yes. That is not all you get either.
Ooh.
You also get foil versions of monster cards.
Yep.
And these neat little metal versions of the health counters.
So another one of the buildings from the very first Crush Hour is the corporate HQ that's out there. You can see it's got the big Privateer Press logo on the top of it. Unfortunately, our actual corporate office does not look like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. It looks exactly like that. You can see it in every picture of Bellevue ever.
Yep.
Going back to 20 years ago when Privateer Press was founded. Fact.
Tony, how long have you been with Privateer Press? And we've always been in that same building that we're in right now,
yes.
right? Okay. They've probably just always been there as far as I know. I've only been with the company for 2 years now,
They have moved once.
Interesting. 2007.
At least.
And if people didn't know, we actually had some sales going on recently because we're actually going to be moving offices. We're going to still be in the same
general area.
Seattle metropolitan area. We're just going to go find ourselves a new office space, a new warehouse to operate out of.
Yes.
It's because Bellevue, if you're not familiar with Bellevue, Bellevue is kind of like it's like the little brother of Seattle for a long time, and it's grown up into like this massive, like urban place. Like I've been here my whole life. I'm almost 40.
It is a very commercial city.
Yes, and part of our operation is literally the manufacturing of models. We produce all of our models out of our warehouse. You cannot zone for industrial in Bellevue anymore. They and my father is in real estate, and he actually like financed the building that like the Privateer Press is in.
Yeah,
and you just can't do it in Bellevue anymore because it's become this huge kind of urban commercial hub that kind of like the
So
place.
we will be moving out of downtown Bellevue, but not far.
Yeah, it'll be like 15, 20 minutes away kind of thing, maybe.
Because my commute was not long enough.
Yes, you live in deepest Tacoma, right?
Yes.
And that's like a while. That's like an hour or something.
The community is pretty well aware of how horrible my commute is. My commute in the morning is about an hour, and on the way home is about an hour and a half.
Pleasant.
But I do it because I love Privateer Press.
Commitment. I like it.
Yes.
All right, so what do we got going on here? We have all of their units respawned, and so in the first round game, if you caught that, Michael Ireland just rocketed Ares Mothership across.
Yes.
He used the tectonic shift from Mount Terra, and he just zoomed across the table, and they just started just body slamming each other like crazy into buildings and throwing and stuff. Then Oz, in the last game, they had a much more chicken kind of game.
They were playing very cagey.
Yeah, it was they're facing off across the volcano, trying to kind of disrupt each other's power bases. So it'll be interesting to see because it'll be is Michael gonna go for here comes the Explodahawk.
Yep.
Boom. So Explodahawks are kamikaze troops basically. Yes. They go up, they bop something, and they just blow up all the things around it. Yep. And then they die.
And he netted himself a couple power dice in the process.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see if, like, Mike goes for, like, a super aggressive strategy again, or if Oz tries to slow the game down, or if they swap positions in that regard kind of thing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but since Hammerclack has high mobility, he can move through the volcano without taking damage. But if he stops in it, he still does take damage.
That sounds right, but I'm not going to comment. I'm going to have to double check. In the meantime, while I'm double checking, I know Twitch chat will cover me.
Yes.
And then Anime Bomb asks in Twitch chat, so who are the other players on the other side of the semi? Actually, we don't have the bracket information on us right now.
Yes.
That is in Faye's hand. She is running the tournament. And due to just the stream setup, it is like walking up a flight of stairs.
Yes.
So unfortunately, I can't
we are in a very vertical building,
Yep.
and the convention does take up more than one floor.
Yeah. And if you've been to Lock and Load before, this is our second year here.
Yes.
Yeah. Typically, we are back in the Maiden Bower, which is a large convention space.
Yes.
Frankly, just more than we needed, and so.
Well, and I don't know about you, but I love having a convention in a hotel so that I don't have to go anywhere to go to my room after I'm done
and
playing
also
games
just like
all
a
day.
restaurant in there and stuff too.
Yeah.
Super convenient. Yeah, this location is like literally 2 blocks south of Maiden Bower.
Yes.
And it's much better space for us. Again, people can just get their room here. There's also like 2 other hotels right next door.
Yes. In
So
fact, I am staying with some friends who got a room here, and we are literally 4 doors down from the Iron Arena.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All night Iron Arena, baby.
Yep. Once we finish streaming, I will be playing some War Machine and Monsterpocalypse.
Are you going to play any Riot Quest with me?
Probably not.
Okay. Fine,
Not
be
that I don't want to. However, I have already played it, and I want to give the attendees a chance to try the game.
Yep.
And we only have so many demo kits.
That is true. But anyways, the moral of the story is this setup that we have is not very horizontal. It is very vertical, like you said.
Yeah.
And so tournaments this year are taking place up a flight of stairs, but our stream setup is down in a pit.
Yep.
So unfortunately, it is not super convenient for me to run up there and ask Faye what the current standings are. But we'll try and get that information to you after this game resolves. All right, so it looks like they're kind of doing a stare down here on the other side of the volcano from each other. Oz is kind of in the tank here, figuring out if maybe he wants to commit harder potentially. Maybe that was just a step.
Oh, I heard him say he's moving 8 spaces.
Yeah, so that's probably a couple steps he did there. He's going to Narnia. Excuse me. And is this going to be like
Is he going to go after the Imperial State Building?
I mean, we saw the Imperial State Building last game.
Yes, used to great effect by Oz.
Yeah, he swapped the location of Mount Terra and an apartment to just sandbag the opponent and give him access.
Yeah, and there goes the Imperial State Building.
Excuse me.
And interestingly enough, it looks like Oz is only securing a single building right now.
Yeah, the industrial complex. Is that what you're seeing? Yep.
Yes. Which is
I see one little dude by the only one dude by the power plant.
Yes. And I have found that, and Oz went first, it is easier to secure multiple buildings if you go first compared to going second. Because going second, you want to spend some of your dice trying to destroy enemy troops that have advanced into your territory rather than spawning more units. And Hammerclack is all up in Ares Mothership's business now.
Yeah, it looks like what's happening now is wow. Okay.
He threw him back into his
I was about to say, I bet he's going to body slam him into that into the high rise.
Or throw 1 or 2 spaces.
Yeah, right. And then I saw him like chuck a million dice and pull that thing off the back of the table. I'm like, well, hold on. So yeah, he went for the long bomb.
Yes. Ares was like, not in my hood.
And I don't know how he does it. He's got those little tiny clamor arms. Ares Mothership's got like little grabby arms. I'm not sure how he throws that far. Oh yeah, okay, repulsor force. That's a good call. Yeah. Then he looks like he's going to step forward into a little bit more. I'm not sure that's a more secure position, but I'm sure Mike has a plan that we can't get inside his head, because I feel like, I guess what that does is that does mean that Hammerclack cannot stop in this position because the building's there.
And you can see that he has, let me clear that out, he has this saucer here, which is acting as a screening unit so that Hammerclack cannot swing around to this side, which means he's going to have to go up to this side here. And if he doesn't have the movement to do it, he's going to have to take steps in a very careful way to not take damage.
So if you're not super familiar with Monpoc, what we're talking about is typically to interact with an enemy monster, you need to be aligned with them, which usually means like literally sharing the entirety of their base edge with them, which means that the spots that Ares Mothership can be like body slammed or thrown would be like this edge, but not this edge because the building's there. And not this edge because, as Jeff mentioned, there is this little bad boy blocking off this section of the board. So
And if
that
he wants
means-
to go to that back edge for some weird reason, he would be taking hazard
Yeah,
damage.
so he could go there, and if he could, could he? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have to travel 12 straight steps just to get here, and all that would net him is, hey, you got to walk in the fire and take some damage.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Yeah. So let's see. Where is he going to end up? They're probably taking a monster turn here to get a little bit of setup. Because he did give himself
I believe
some breathing
Oz
room.
is taking a unit turn.
Yeah,
currently.
I'm sorry. I said
And it
monster and I meant unit.
Now, I've noticed several times now that Oz does have a Protectorate of Menoth tattoo on his forearm.
Oh, wow, he does.
Do you think he got that at a lock and load a few years ago when we were offering free faction tattoos?
We were offering free faction tattoos like 3-4 years ago.
It was before Mark III happened, so 4 or 5 years ago probably.
But he looks like he's taking a unit turn, and he's poured a lot of his dice into his monster well. Oh yeah, we thank you for keeping us honest here, Anime Bomb. We have not been
Hammer
upkeeping.
Clack should be at 7 hit
Yeah,
points.
we have not been upkeeping the damage. Sorry, I get so locked into like staring at the table and figuring out what people are doing that
Yes.
I forget our the other part of our
And
job here.
Given that this is this our first Monsterpocalypse tournament that we are streaming?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've spent a lot of time just going over the basics of the game.
Yeah.
First
Yeah. We've done some like dev battles and stuff like that.
Yes, some
All right.
rumbles.
Yeah, some rumbles. So Mike has cruised Ares across the table, and he's going to perform another throw. And I like the imagery that someone mentioned in Twitch chat, which was that he like spins around
Yes,
and flings him.
centrifugal force
Yep.
is what we're looking for.
He's like,
So-
you know what? You know what he looks like to me? He looks like the Gravitron. Who's been on a Gravitron
Yes.
at a fair? Yeah, that's
is-
what it's like.
So it looks like Mike might be trying to replicate his move from round 1, where he's going to throw him hard to his right.
Yeah. So if you caught the first round, this is actually does kind of have some echoes. And by first round, we do mean the first tournament round. Is what happened is if we could get the other view back real quick, Tony. Thank you. Ares went across the table, and then he threw his opponent this way, and then he finished him off basically by throwing him into this sweet spot right here.
Yes.
And it looks kind of like he might be trying to.
He's not doing that
Okay.
here. He went for getting as many units and a building as possible. However, he probably understood that Oz is going to get a monster turn next turn, so he wouldn't get a chance to throw twice without being interrupted.
And that should be, if my math is correct, that should put Hammer Clack down to 8. Was that building already
4.
gone?
No, it was not. He destroyed that building.
So 1 for the throw, 1 for the building, 1 for the rubble. So that should put Hammer Clack at 4.
Which puts him into hyper.
Hyper form, yep. And essentially, again, if you're not super familiar, monsters have an alpha form that they start in, and when they hit a certain damage threshold, they rage out.
Now, I'm
into,
predicting here that we're going to see a throw. Yes, he's going to try to throw him through the downtown high-rise to try to catch up on damage.
Yep.
So it
Okay.
turns out this is the final round. The pair down upstairs lost their game, so whoever wins this game does win the tournament.
All right, good to know. And Tony, could you do me a real quick favor and just go confirm Ares hasn't taken any damage until now? Because this should be 3 coming in his face here.
Even with this 3 damage, Ares is still at a significant advantage.
Yeah. Ares has proven to be very powerful in this one
Was
monster
that
format.
a 3 or a 4?
Okay.
Yes, because there's a super strike roll on that, so
Oh,
he took
yeah.
4 damage on that.
So one of the cool things about Hammer Clack, and we talked about this last round, is he has an ability called Crunch, which is if you roll any super strikes, which is the double striking face on one of your white dice, the action dice, not any of the dice, Jeff.
It's better if you use any of the dice, though. I'm just saying.
You get an additional point of damage. So that did happen. So that's going to be 4 total damage dealt to Ares' mothership, 1 from this crunch, 1 from the throw, 1 from the building, 1 from the rubble, or the hazard, rather. He's going to go on a magical adventure.
And
He's going to get some steps.
it looks like Mike is trying to press his hit point advantage here and close out the game while he can.
So the
Instead
question
of-
is do we think it's going to be like he can't body slam into the power plant?
He's going to throw into the downtown high-rise, I think.
You think he's going to – so with this lineup here, He could body slam him here. He could body slam him here, but that doesn't really do anything. Doesn't do anything here, and obviously he's not there. So
it's a big throw.
So he's going to go for another
lot
big
of
throw.
Power dice.
So he could put him like down here. He could also put him up here.
Yes.
Let's have to see which direction he goes.
I would, if it were me, I would throw him into Mount Terra.
Because then that kind of sets you up for
Well, no matter which direction he goes.
Yeah, he gets the setup for the sweet spot, right?
Yes.
We've been talking about the sweet spot all day, being the double buildings, and you're trying to get him right between both buildings so you get
it could go either way.
5 damage.
Yeah. He took out the downtown high rise.
Okay, yeah. So he sent him up top, and that makes sense because one thing that we have not taken advantage of, but we've been talking about, is utilizing the high rise,
the ability to heal.
Yeah, and heal. So that should be
3 damage.
3 damage. One for the throw, one for the building, one for the hazard. Puts Hammerclack
on 1
on the precipice of 1, which this is probably sealing the deal for Mike. But
yes.
Mike will not get a monster turn.
No, he won't.
So there, this is. I'm not ready to just call it for Mike. He definitely has a huge advantage here.
Oz does only have 4 dice in his monster pool and 4 power dice.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of resources to play with.
He can take 2 consecutive monster turns if he wants, but he's going to have to get real lucky with his rolls.
Yeah. What's the defense on? So Mary's is def 8. Not quite the def 9 of Hammerclack currently. I mean, he could just. Sometimes you just got to hero it, though, right? Like, sometimes you just have to roll for the. You just have to swing for the fences.
Yes.
And that might be the situation he's in. Because.
No, he's using 2 dice and all of his power dice. And he's got 1 left sitting in his monster pool. He's gonna need to roll hot on this dice.
Yeah. He needs to throw some just bricks here.
They're deciding whether he wants to throw or body slam?
Right now they're discussing angles basically of where he wants. That might not be his final position. He might pull back and go into a different position based on where he decides he wants to end up putting Ares.
Oz initially declared that he wanted to throw him into the volcano, but he can't throw over himself.
Correct.
And Mike told him if he wanted, he could go back and reposition so he could throw him into the volcano.
And that's the kind of excellent sportsmanship that when you're playing at a high level, when you're playing a tournament, the last thing you want to do is gotcha your opponent. This is the kind of stuff where you're like, oh wait, hold on, go ahead and take that back if you need to. We weren't exactly perfectly clear on how you wanted to execute this, and you had plenty of movement, so go ahead and do it. So so he pulled himself back into the other position, and he's going for a throw into the volcano.
And really, that's what you want to.
And I've seen Godzilla in 1985, and that's how you defeat Godzilla.
Yeah.
Anyone seen that one?
No.
Oh, come on. You guys are all of age.
But the thing is, though, if you're going to win a game, you want to win against your opponent's best game.
Yes, correct. That's generally been my philosophy.
You don't want to win a game because your opponent makes a dumb mistake.
Yeah, or a simple mistake they didn't mean to make.
Yes.
Right? There's definitely a difference between.
You want to know you played against your best opponents.
Yeah. So let's see. That should have been 2 to Ares, unless I'm crazy, because it should have been 1 for the throw and 1 for the volcano.
Yeah.
All right. So now Mike has got to take his unit turn and transfer some dice back over so he can finish off Hammerclack. The nice thing about Hammerclack's position is I'm pretty confident that unless he's got some wacky movement stuff going on, that he should be safe from blast attacks from units.
Yes.
And then I just turned around and there was a Hungerford leering behind me. So
he was
what?
He was definitely in your personal space.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no such thing as personal space in the dev office.
I've been busy running events. Oh, Mike Ireland's in the finals?
Yeah, Mike Ireland's in the finals.
Of course Mike Ireland's in the finals.
Versus an Oz with 2 Zs. That's twice as big as our Oz.
I mean, I'm in.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like...
The question is Oz twice as crotchety as our Oz?
That's impossible. That's mathematically impossible. Oh, good question, Anime Bomb. Actually, can you confirm that for us real quick, Tony, and see if he got a crunch off of the Hammerclack throwing Ares into the volcano? It's a good catch on that, Anime Bomb. Thank you, Twitch chat, for keeping us honest.
And that is going to be fairly important.
Yep, no crunch. So it was just a 2 damage.
I believe he just barely got the hit.
Yep. I think Mike is just kind of like clearing up the power base here.
He's trying to establish board control.
Yeah, and he basically has it. I think what he's more likely, probably more fair to say, is that he is just choking out Oz's power base.
Yeah.
So that because Oz effectively has to take. So okay, here's Oz's play, and I think his play is basically a hero throw or hero throw.
He doesn't have any power dice left.
But he can't
throw.
He's got nothing. He can't do it. So it's.
I think next turn he has to take a monster turn and try to get as far away as possible. Maybe down into one of the corners. Like here, let me bring up the Telestrator.
Ooh, Telestrate.
If he moves Hammerclack down to here, because the monsters can stand in the water, and hope that Ireland can't get down into here. Because Ireland would have to move over here and then throw him a fair distance.
I mean, how many hit points does he have left? Hammerclack only has 1?
1. So it
all
doesn't
do
matter.
is brawl him.
All he has to do is blast him, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not it's not a good look by any means.
Yeah.
I certainly would not enjoy being in Oz's position right now.
Yeah. I think we're pretty comfortable assuming that Mike is in the saddle right now.
Yes.
But there could be some wackiness going on. I'm not gonna. I
think it's fair to say that Mike Ireland did not feel content just winning War Machine tournaments.
Yeah, he wants to make his mark. He wants to dominate Monpoc
all
as
of
well.
Privateer Press.
Yeah. All right. Well. I mean, I kind of like this. Well, it depends. So he's taking a unit turn. It's like
if he screens heavily enough.
Yeah. What's the blast attack like on Mothership? Range 3. I mean, all he's got to do is tag him.
And Ares Mothership does have Abduct.
And the range of the blast goes up in Hyperform, so it's really hard to hide from him.
Yeah. I don't even think he needs to move.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, he does not.
A visual count, yeah. Can you get an aiming bonus in this game if you just stand still?
G-Tanks get aiming bonuses, and some other units do, but Ares does not. There's no innate aiming bonus, but some units do have an ability that's aim, where if they do not advance, they get an additional boost die.
Oh, man, I totally forgot about Ares Mothership's steady and how you don't want to body slam him. That's right. You want to frisbee him.
That's why Mike let him move around to throw, because Hammercrack probably would not have gotten the body slam.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about here is Ares Mothership is a big floating disc, and it has the rule steady, which is enemy monsters do not roll boost dice when making body slam power attacks against this model. Basically it means that if you kind of want to interact with Ares Mothership, you kind of need to frisbee him.
Yes.
Because
I would imagine
having your boost dice on body slams seems sketchy.
I would imagine that Ares Mothership frisbees really well.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? In fact, that should be a rule. It should be when you throw him further. You get additional dice when you're throwing Ares.
Especially with Hammerclack, who can spin around on his drill like it's a discus.
Yeah. What we should do is we should have like a Frisbee Golf mod for this game. We should have like a Frisbee Golf map that you can only play Ares Mothership on.
Yes. Or just play with other monsters and the Martian saucers.
All right, I think this is the hurrah.
He's sealing the deal.
Yep.
That's a lot of strikes. And there's the handshake.
And the handshake. All right, well, congratulations to Mike Ireland. So as we mentioned, the pair down did lose. Or I'm sorry, did win. No, lose.
No,
what am I trying to say?
Pair down lost, the pair up won.
Yes, thank you.
Which means Mike Ireland is the only remaining undefeated player in the tournament.
Our very first inaugural with our very first Monsterpocalypse tournament. So congratulations to Mike Ireland. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. So what do we have on our stream schedule? I think we are done with Monsterpocalypse for the day. And so we have some other stuff coming up. So keep an eye on our streams and keep an eye on our social media. So if you go live, and we're going to have other stuff happening tomorrow, too. We're going to be showing off some War Machine. We have the Iron Gauntlet happening. But again, thank you so much for tuning in and following some Monsterpocalypse with us.
All weekend long.
Yeah, all weekend long we have stuff going on, and you can check out our YouTube and follow up on the keynote we had this morning. We showed off a bunch of great new stuff coming up for War Machine Hordes, Monsterpocalypse, and Riot Quest for this upcoming year.
And Warcaster Neo Mechanica.
Yeah, Warcaster Neo Mechanica
coming out.
And yes,
next
I am
year.
not actually Jeff Hanley. This is not actually Jeff Olson. We decided to be
You don't know
goofy,
that.
so, yes,
they don't
actually,
know that.
All I know is there's 3 Jeffs on this.
Yes.
So anyway,
Jeffception.
thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here at Privateer Press. Congratulations to Mike Ireland for winning our very first Monsterpocalypse tournament here at Lock and Load. Again, stay tuned. We have more coming your way. Until then, have a fantastic afternoon and enjoy your War Machine Hordes
We'll
Monsterpocalypse.
see you guys soon.
Bye.